Football is a sport full of passion, drama, and unexpected twists. For every breathtaking goal or last-minute victory, there's a cloud of mystery and speculation that follows. Whether it's due to controversial decisions, match-fixing scandals, or shocking behind-the-scenes rumors, football has seen its fair share of conspiracy theories. These theories often arise from the intense emotions and high stakes involved, with fans and players alike questioning the true story behind the headlines. In a game where the stakes are incredibly high and the spotlight is always shining, it's no surprise that football has been the breeding ground for some of the most outlandish and entertaining conspiracies in sports history. From alleged rigged tournaments to secret deals between clubs, some theories are so bizarre that they sound like the plots of thrillers. But in the world of football, nothing is ever quite as it seems. In this video, we'll delve into some of the craziest conspiracy theories in football history, exploring how these tales emerge and how they've managed to captivate fans around the globe. Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride through the most mysterious corners of the beautiful game. From accusations of bribery to despite drinks, here are some of the biggest conspiracy theories in football history. Welcome back to another exciting video. Today's video is about craziest conspiracy theories in football history. Before we start the video, please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Neymar's disappearing act. In 2014, when injury ruled Neymar out of the World Cup semis, the Brazilian looked devastated. But some Glide fans claimed there was more to the story than met the eye. Let's rewind to that tournament. Brazil was under huge pressure to win, not on home soil. Neymar was only 22, but he was already the national team star. The Barcelona 4 helped Brazil reach the quarters, where they came up against an impressive Colombia side. Brazil won a tight, tense game 2-1, but it wasn't a positive night for the hosts. That's because in a very physical match, Neymar suffered a minor fracture of vertebrae in his back after being kneed by João Zuniga. The doctors immediately told him he wouldn't be fit for the semis against Germany. That's the official story anyway. Some fans don't believe it. They think Neymar faked his injury because he didn't want to be part of a possible humiliation by the Germans. Conspiracy theorists studied pictures of names taken to the hospital and claimed that some of his tattoos were missing. They argued Brazil had employed a body double and that Neymar was fine at whatever the truth. Brazil lived through its worst nightmare in a 7-month thrashing by Germany a few days later. Tottenham's dodgy lasagna. Nutritionists and chefs played a pivotal role in modern football in 2006. Tottenham found this out in the worst possible circumstances. It was the final weekend of the Premier League season for Spurs. The task was simply to beat West Ham, and they'd finish in the top 4. Tottenham could almost hear the Champions League and them ringing in their ears. The squad stayed at a hotel before the game at Upton Park. They would serve lasagna in the restaurant the night before the match. The players would relax as they tucked into their food, but a few hours later, several Spurs players were throwing up in their hotel rooms. It wasn't a coincidence that numerous players fell in simultaneously. The lasagna had given them food poisoning. Some Tottenham players weren't able to play the next day. Others did play but were far from their best. West Ham and Arsenal qualified for the Champions League, was the chef and Arsenal fan. The hotel was cleared of wrongdoing, but Tottenham supporters still suspect foul play. South Korea at the 2002 World Cup. South Korea's run to the semifinals of 2002's World Cup is often described as a fairy tale, but there's a much darker side to the co-host's achievement that summer with goose hitting can charge. South Korea was determined to do more than make up the numbers. The TU Warriors finished top of the group ahead of the USA, Portugal, and Poland. They then beat Italy in the round of 16 before dumping out Spain in the quarterfinals. The hitting side was finally halted in the semis and beaten 1-0 by Germany. But although Koreans were thrilled by the team's achievements, Italy and Spain were left stunned by some controversial refereeing decisions. Italy had Francesco Totti harshly sent off, and a dummy tomato incorrectly ruled. Spain had 2 goals chalked off in the quarterfinal before the eventual defeat on penalties. Ivan Helguera called it a robbery, and the Spanish media slammed the match officials as thieves of dreams. 20 years later, fans in Italy and Spain still refuse to believe they were victims of bad luck. The Holy Water Scandal. You don't need to be a South American to know there was no love lost between Argentina and Brazil at the 1990 World Cup. A shocking instant proved how fierce the rivalry is. The two nations met in the round of 16. One would go through to the quarters and one would go home. The stakes couldn't be higher, and both teams were desperate to. The game was played in Turin. Okay, not exactly Mexico City, but it can still get pretty hot. During the match, the Argentine physio offered Brazil left back Branco a drink in late June. He gratefully accepted it, but that was a big mistake. All of a sudden, Branco felt lethargic. He'd been man-marking Diego Maradona, but the Argentine genius was now. He was starting to find space with 9 minutes left. Maradona set up Claudio to score the only goal of the game. That wasn't the end of it. Branco complained that something must have been in the water he was given. Years later, Maradona backed him up. He told the press that the water had been laced with a tranquilizer. Ronaldo at the World Cup. It was the eve of the 1998 World Cup final, and the stage was set for Ronaldo to demonstrate that he was the most exciting player on the planet. Then something terrible happened. O Phenomena were living up to his nickname. He scored 4 goals, and with his blend of speed, skill, and ruthless finishing, he led Brazil to the final. Ronaldo was unstoppable. Brazil was the favorites against France, but just an hour before kickoff, the world was stunned to discover that Ronaldo had been left out of the starting 11. In the end, the striker did start, but it was a shadow of his usual self as France beat Brazil 3-0 to win their first ever World Cup. What has happened to Ronaldo? Reports soon emerged that he'd had a seizure the night before. Surely Ronaldo shouldn't have played. It didn't make any medical sense, but countless Brazilians believed the conspiracy that the all-powerful hand of Nike had a huge say. Nike's influence on the Brazil national team back then was massive. Remember, all those brilliant adverts like the one in the airport lounge won't tell somebody there was a darker side to the £105 million partnership. Nike couldn't afford Ronaldo to miss the biggest game in world sport. He was their most marketable star, and his absence from the final would have been unthought. Seizure or no seizure, Ronaldo had to play. Football, with its global reach and passionate fan base, has always been a breeding ground for conspiracy theories. Whether it's questionable refereeing decisions, mysterious injuries, or alleged match-fixing scandals, the world of football never seems to run short of wild theories and outlandish claims. These conspiracy theories, often fueled by the high stakes of the sport, intrigue fans and spark debates that can last for decades. While many of these theories remain nothing more than speculative stories, they highlight the deeply emotional connection people have to the game. Football, after all, is not just a sport. It's a global phenomenon that shapes identities and defines cultures. And when something as unpredictable and dramatic as a last-minute goal or a controversial penalty happens, it's no wonder that fans are quick to look for hidden agendas and cover-ups. Whether you believe in these conspiracies or not, one thing is certain: football's mystique is a part of what makes it so captivating. The intrigue, the drama, and the occasional controversy ensure that the beautiful game will continue to spark debate for years to come. So, the next time a strange moment or decision happens on the pitch, remember that in football, nothing is ever quite as simple as it seems. Theories will continue to emerge, but the real thrill lies in the unpredictable nature of the game itself, where no matter what, anything can happen. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.